like clock. I can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
I talked a lot about chapter 46, but it turns out that I never really talked about the Kashin Koji versus Isshiki Ōtsutsuki fight. But not only that, I do want to talk about who I think is probably going to win, just overall how I think the battle went. Now, first things first, I do want to talk about the actual combat. This is going to be very controversial, but I think that Jigen, regular form Jigen, just regular state Jigen, of course we understand that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki is still controlling him, but Jigen, relatively, is about equal or if not better than Kashin Koji. And that's insane, man, because that's just 10% of Jigen. Now, actually analyzing the fight, coming into the battle for a character like Kashin Koji, he's already going to be at a major disadvantage, mainly because he just cannot use chakra, and that's going to be extremely heightened in this situation, mainly because Jigen, his main weakness right now is that he is actually low on chakra, he's low on energy, he's low on everything. So just feeding Jigen chakra would definitely not be the best idea. So every time Kashin Koji actually decides to use chakra, it's actually hurting his case. He should definitely try to stay away from chakra, or at least limit it to a minimum to where Jigen can't actually absorb it. But it turns out that Kashin Koji did actually throw some chakra at Jigen, and he did absorb it. Now, once Kashin Koji realized that he couldn't really affect Jigen with any sort of chakra, he of course tried to attack Jigen with taijutsu. Now, this right here, it seemed extremely equal. During the actual taijutsu exchange, Kashin Koji used a multitude of shadow clones. As of right now, you just flat out cannot beat Jigen in taijutsu. It's just not going to happen. It's mainly because of the rods. The rods are so small that you can't really see them, you can't really detect them, and they just pop up out of nowhere and they will impale you. And that's exactly what happened here. Multiple of Kashin Koji's shadow clones were absolutely destroyed from these rods. And not only that, during the taijutsu exchange, it basically showed us that it's possible that Jigen is actually faster than Kashin Koji. Now, Jigen didn't even activate the Karma Seal yet. We're just talking about the regular one. One of Kashin Koji's shadow clones had a clear line to Jigen. Jigen dodged him, went directly behind Kashin Koji, and then just completely obliterated that shadow clone with some rods. Now, I do want to point this out. Early in that battle, Kashin Koji did something a little bit similar. He speed blitzed Jigen and ended up right behind Jigen, and Jigen was kind of slow to react. But this right here is a little bit different, mainly because Jigen was actually preoccupied with absorbing some blasts that Kashin Koji shot at him prior. But in this situation where Kashin Koji completely lost sight of Jigen, Kashin Koji's main attention was focused on hitting Jigen, and Jigen still got completely behind him and caught him off guard and just completely destroyed him with the rods. This is just base Jigen, no Karma Seal at all. So it pretty much tells me regular Jigen is still stronger than Kashin Koji, even at 10% chakra. Now, before Jigen actually activated the Karma Seal, Kashin Koji understood that there was no possible way that he could possibly take Jigen, and the same thing goes for Isshiki as well. And it's simply because of the undetectable rods. Now, I do want to point this out. Kashin Koji can't just spam shadow clone jutsus all day, mainly because those do drain a considerable amount of chakra. Of course, we're kind of brainwashed with Naruto summoning like 1,000 shadow clones or 2,000 shadow clones, but that's Naruto. This right here is not Naruto. I strongly doubt that Kashin Koji has even close to the amount of chakra reserves as Naruto has. So at this point, Kashin Koji understands that he needs to make this a sort of mid-range to long-range battle, and that's exactly what he did. Now again, Jigen and Kashin Koji, from my vantage point, looked about equal. Now, as soon as Jigen activated the Karma Seal, it should be a body bag, and of course it's not, mainly because it is Naruto. Naruto is a lot more than just strength and speed, so Kashin Koji in this particular position still has a chance. But as soon as Jigen activates the Karma Seal, he completely speed blitzes Kashin Koji, ends up right behind him, and just completely demolishes him and sends him flying through some cemented beams. Now at this point, we understand that that right there was not a shadow clone, mainly because it didn't disappear. That one actually went flying, so that was actually Kashin Koji. But even though that was definitely a big blow to Kashin Koji, it kind of worked out positive, mainly because it did put some distance between Kashin Koji and Isshiki, and that's exactly what Kashin Koji wants. He understands that he cannot possibly take Isshiki right now in the taijutsu battle. And now afterwards, this scene right here was absolutely iconic. In my opinion, when it's actually animated, it's probably going to look 100 times more insane. Kashin Koji summons a dark swamp. Now at this point, that right there seems to be just a diversion, mainly because underneath that, he has a ritual seal that summons flames from an actual mountain, flames that Isshiki cannot absorb. Of course, the fight from this chapter ends right then and there, and it's going to seem a little bit weird, mainly because the cliffhanger had Kashin Koji doing something to Isshiki. But here's the thing, I really think it is going to be a very small possibility that Kashin Koji actually wins this battle, mainly because that right there was the only actual attack that affected Isshiki or Jigen. I think that for Kashin Koji to actually win this, he needs to, one, keep the fight long distance, and for a character like Isshiki Ōtsutsuki, him being extremely fast, that task is going to be extremely difficult. And not only that, Kashin Koji needs to have multiple of these attacks in the bank, and we don't know if that's actually going to be the case. Now, a positive for Kashin Koji's situation, he does not have to beat Isshiki Ōtsutsuki. He does not have to beat Isshiki. All he has to do is last long enough for Isshiki Ōtsutsuki to wear out. At this point, we understand that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki is dead tired. One of the reasons why we understand that is because Jigen didn't waste time. Jigen went from regular state to final form Karma Seal. He didn't even waste time using the first stage of the Karma Seal. And if you guys recall, when Jigen was actually fighting Naruto and Sasuke, he felt them out a little bit with the first stage of the Karma Seal. That wasn't the case in this situation, and it's even more damning because it's obvious that Naruto and Sasuke are even more formidable of a foe than Kashin Koji. So because Jigen went straight into the final form of the Karma Seal, that pretty much tells us that he's trying to get the battle over with a quickness. And of course, if that does not happen, that could possibly spell a lot of danger for Isshiki Ōtsutsuki, mainly because Jigen's body just cannot maintain this level of power for a sustained amount of time, especially after the fight versus Naruto and Sasuke. But on top of that, we still have to add in the fact that Isshiki Ōtsutsuki or Jigen can possibly call him back up whenever he wants to. Now, we don't necessarily know the exact way of telecommunication between him and other members of the Kata organization. One notable member is of course Code. At this particular point, he is monitoring the Ten Tails and making sure nobody from the Hidden Leaf Village goes there to pretty much abduct his Ten Tails. But regardless, if there is a split-second decision where Jigen understands that, hey, there's a big possibility that I might actually lose this fight, can he actually ask for help from Code and have him be there in a split second to help him out? That is going to be something that Kashin Koji also has to worry about. And I do want to point this out. For a character that was actually created to actually fight against Jigen, it was completely shocking to me that he didn't know all of Jigen's moves, maneuvers, and secrets. It's like when he shot chakra at Jigen, he was kind of surprised when he absorbed the chakra. Now, just real quick, I do want to get into a little bit of the dialogue in this battle. And this right here, in my opinion, was a very interesting thing. Kashin Koji actually called himself a shinobi. Now, I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this, but just the word shinobi is a very hot topic within the Kata organization, mainly because I really don't think that they classify themselves as shinobi, even though we all know that they quote unquote are shinobi. In this particular situation, it's going to be even more important for a character like Kashin Koji to classify himself as a shinobi, mainly because he is a synthetic human being. A lot of people assume that he's a cyborg. Now, of course, Amada did say that he created Kashin Koji. Kashin Koji did say that he was quote unquote created to kill Jigen. So him classifying himself as a shinobi basically tells us that he does have some human elements to him. And this also goes hand in hand with his abilities to use chakra. If you guys do recall, back when Kashin Koji did clash with Konohamaru, even though of course Kashin Koji wasn't taking that battle serious or anything, Kashin Koji used the Rasengan. And in my opinion, I think Kashin Koji was sending a message to Konohamaru subliminally, but Kashin Koji did say that that was not a ninja technology. His Rasengan was actual chakra. And we already understand the speculation around Kashin Koji actually being Jiraiya or some parts of Jiraiya. This just adds up. Jiraiya is always going to classify himself as a shinobi no matter where or what he does. And in my opinion, this right here just kind of gives more credence to the fact that Kashin Koji can actually be Jiraiya. Now, last month, in my opinion, I thought it was kind of confirmed that Kashin Koji wasn't Jiraiya. And that was solely because Kashin Koji made it seem like he was 100% a robot. He said that he was created. Like, it seemed like Amada made him from scratch. Now it seemed like Kashin Koji was not actually made from scratch. It seemed like Kashin Koji is actually part human. He's part actual shinobi. My goodness, my guys, how long are we gonna have to wait to figure out the exact and true identity of Kashin Koji? We have been thinking for like the last 3 chapters that we're finally gonna get to figure out the true identity of Kashin Koji. Like, bruh, the manga title for this chapter was True Identity with Kashin Koji plastered on the cover of the manga. We still didn't find out the true identity of Kashin Koji. All we can do at this point is pray that the actual identity of Kashin Koji is going to be revealed in the next chapter, possibly the chapter after that. But one of the last things that I do want to add, and I want to emphasize this, it's going to be extremely difficult for me to believe that Jigen does not have some sort of backup plan for something like this happening, and that's mainly because he kind of had the idea that Kashin Koji and Amado were kind of stabbing him in the back. If you guys recall in the last chapter, not the last chapter, but chapter 45, I do believe, Jigen actually told Kashin Koji that he understood Kashin Koji had a hand in actually destroying the blimp, which of course led to them losing the vessel, which of course is Kawaki. Now, because that is the case, it would pretty much prompt me to believe that if Jigen understands that he's going to be extremely weakened right now, maybe if he does not have a Kata insider on speed dial, he definitely has some Kata outsiders possibly lurking around the warehouse, just waiting for his signal to come in and possibly try to help him out in a situation versus Kashin Koji. Now, we understand that Kashin Koji is most likely going to be stronger than a lot of the outsiders out there, so it's definitely definitely a realistic possibility that the outsiders are just there to help Jigen escape in a time of desperation. And I'm what you guys think about this battle in the comment section below, and give me your opinions about the points that I did make. Just to reiterate, in my opinion, I think that Kashin Koji can possibly be equal to the actual true state of Jigen, just the regular flat out state of Jigen. But in terms of when Jigen turns into Isshiki, it seems like a body bag. The only way that Kashin Koji can possibly win versus a character like Isshiki is to prolong the battle and also have multiple of natural energy attacks to shoot out against Isshiki Ōtsutsuki. But let me know what you guys think. It's been your boy Barry B, and we out.
It's a knife.